What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to be talking about another vampire film. Yay! Of It's called Immortality, or it's also known as The Wisdom of Crocodiles. It was released by Miramax November 27th, 1998. Stars Jude Law, Aliva Lowenson, and Timothy Spall. It was written by Paul Huffman, produced by David Lascelles and Caroline Chia, and directed by Po Chen Leong, who's also done films like Jumping Ash, Foxbat, Hong Kong, 1941, and Fatal Love. So this film's marketed as a horror film, but to me, it's more of like a dramatic thriller. It's not really. There's some minor horror elements, like we count the vampire type stuff that goes on in it, but yeah. So Immortality. That's how I'm gonna call it because that's how the DVD case I got has it. So yeah, or the Wisdom of Crocodiles. So you're following uh, a modern vampire played by Jude Law, who he's for a long time he's been feasting off of like people who don't care, want to die, and stuff like that, blood off that. So he'll like seduce them and be like this charming guy who's like one girl almost like kills herself, and then he basically pretends to fall in love with them, and then once he gets them right in the right grasp to seduce them and do like the sexual thing, he goes and drinks their blood. And but he finds slowly that that's not quenching his thirst anymore. He needs to change it up, and he actually gets a girl fall in love, a specific girl who is played by Alina Lawson, and he slowly starts actually falling in love with this girl, and he knows like the love of someone um, that loves him back will make the blood richer and cleanse him. And so he goes and tries to drink her blood. And that now, while all this is going on from all his past killings and stuff, the cops are slowly piecing the puzzle together. And is yeah, the cops are slowly piecing the puzzle together and getting clues that take him closer and closer to him. Yeah, and the head cop, played by Timothy Spall, is dead set on trying to catch this guy. Your typical thriller cop. And so the whole point of this whole movie is basically him trying to elude capture and try to be a modern vampire in the modern world. Now, this is actually it was enjoyable. It's not going to be for everyone. It is a slow burn. It is very atmospheric and unique. There's not, like I said, it's not really a horror film. There's no scares. It's more the vampire stuff, it's not like Dawn of the Dead or like not Dawn of the Dead, From Dusk Till Dawn. It's not like that at all or anything. It's more like just like normal you and me with like you'll see his fangs every once in a while, and then he bites like the throat, which is a very dramatic sexualized way, which is pretty neat. I like how they shot those type of scenes and stuff. It's sort of like a little bit of an artistic sort of style, which is actually somewhat interesting to see. You don't really see that in vampire movies very much anymore. And that's definitely this one might actually be more like if you like Twilight, this one's like a darker version of it almost. Just he doesn't like twinkle in the sunlight or anything like that. He's actually very quiet and subdued. And Jude Law does a good job performing. Like the acting overall is pretty decent in this, and it's definitely one of the more captivating vampire films out there. It's definitely one that a lot of people missed, and it's been marketed in two different like titles, so it kind of gets shuffled around and stuff. And then eventually, Miramax, well, after all this, the Weinstein stuff, most of their stuff went to the cheap cheap bins and stuff, so you can get them in like DVD pack, those 10 film DVD packs. You find them in a lot of those, and I'm sure it's on like Tubi or something if you want to check it out. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting film. It's not my favorite, but it was definitely a nice change from like the it's crazy looking and seeing what vampire films were in the 90s to the early 2000s to like the 2010s and stuff and how they've changed over time. And this one was definitely more artistic and definitely a more in-depth feel. And as long as you like sort of like feel for the characters and stuff, it's actually a pretty decent watch. I just wish there was more like vampiric stuff. A lot of this was more building the characters and stuff, and then you only see like two actual vampire parts in it, and yeah, I kind of wish there's more to it, and maybe a little more drama because not really a full-on conclusion in it, but something a little more conflict and stuff in it would have made the film a little bit better. But for a dramatic thriller type film, it works pretty well. So yeah, just certain parts wasn't for me and stuff. So yeah, that's why I'm going to give it a little bit of a lower rating than you probably expect. But it's still a decent film and one if you especially if you like vampire movies, you should check it out. It's the one like a lot of like YouTubers and stuff are talking about because it didn't get the recognition when it first came out, and it's definitely a interesting film to watch and an interesting film experience. But it's definitely one I would not go out and check out a lot. But for what it is, it's still an interesting way to depict a modern vampire, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I'm going to give Immortality, or also known as The Wisdom of Crocodiles, a 3.5 out of 5. I just wish there's more conflict and maybe the pace could have went because it drags for a little while and stuff. And yeah, and maybe a little bit more, some more vampiric elements put into it, and then I would have been like fully hooked. But for what it is, it's still a good one. It's not the best, but definitely not the worst. So definitely check it out if you like vampire films or dramatic thrillers and stuff and slow burn mysteries. This one will be probably more for you type of people out there. So definitely an interesting one and something different than the last few films I've been checking out. So yeah, it's interesting. I'll try to find the trailer I watched for it and link it down below so you can check it out and see what it's all about. Also, my Instagram's always linked down below where I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story. And I usually put the film title in the hashtag and the subject on a film in the hashtag so you're aware of it. So you can follow me on Instagram, stay in the loop. Or you could also check out my Letterbox at Derek P Reviews. That's where I post my first star rating right after watching the film. Sometimes it changes over time, but yeah. So yeah, follow me on one of those two. Stay in the loop. Like this video, share some more people aware of it. Comment your opinions of the film down below. Let me know your thoughts. And also, if you have any films that you want to hear my opinions on in the future, or any film franchises or anything, I'll watch any subgenre of film, so it doesn't matter. Comment them down below. I'll try my best to get to them as soon as I can, and if I can find them. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinions on Immortality. It was a decent film, just pretty sluggish, and kind of wish there was a little more vampire stuff, but it was definitely an interesting, artistic, dramatic thriller, and you should check it out, especially if you're into like a lot of the vampires and want to see a decent, somewhat modern vampire film. So yeah, definitely check it out, and make sure you subscribe because you never know what I'm going to talk about next. I think there's only like one more vampire film I'm going to check out, and then I'm going to change it up a bit more, but who knows. And hopefully we could find something interesting, weird, and something odd that you never thought of checking out together. So yeah, so make sure you subscribe and watch out for all those blood-sucking men out there. And I guess I'll see you all in the next one. So until the next review, cheers.